Hey, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna talk about top 5
best electric tea makers.
Starting at number 5.
OXO Brew Cordless. For my own daily purposes, using a smaller gooseneck kettle makes the most sense. But for a larger vessel, I love this OXO that I've been testing for several months. It's sturdy and well made, which I attribute largely to the glass walls and stainless steel details. Those materials are more durable, nicer looking, and easier to clean than the cheap plastic of the kettles I associate with dorm rooms. The OXO does have some silicone, but only in thoughtful places like the handle, for comfort, and the base, to ensure you can put it directly down on a surface without causing any damage. The kettle is also the only larger model on this list that allows for precise temperature control. This means you can use it for perfect coffee and tea, but the capacity makes it more versatile for serving other people at the same time as yourself, as well as other forms of cooking. It holds temperature for 30 minutes, too. I appreciate that the glass lets you easily see how much water is inside, and I find the pour spout to produce a clean pour even though it's a larger opening than a gooseneck.
Coming at number 4.
Hario V60 Buono. Hario was the original creator of this type of spout, and though more advanced gooseneck kettles have come out since, it still commands a lot of respect, cited by several of the pros I spoke to as a solid choice. Suyog Modi, founder of Brooklyn's Driftaway Coffee, has had his for nearly a decade. And if you're looking to get a temperature that will work for coffee, you don't have to overthink it, just boil the water, wait a minute, and then pour it, he instructs. Modi's colleague and coffee educator at Driftaway, James McCarthy, is also a fan. I like the feel of it. It's easy to handle. While none of the professionals I talked to called out the look of the Hario in particular, I have to say, I think it's quite attractive. Former strategist writer Leah Munsey, who's an avid tea drinker, owns one and agrees wholeheartedly. I mean, just look at that little wavy handle, she says. Sometimes I just stare at it.
At number 3.
BALMUDA the Kettle. While the BALMUDA, from the maker of our very favorite steam toaster oven, comes in at a similar price point to the Stagg EKG, it may be a better choice for those who don't need or want a high-tech option. I think it's similarly pleasing to look at but has only a simple on-off switch. The water also heats up very quickly, in about 2 minutes, both because it doesn't need to home in on an exact degree like the Stagg EKG or the Bonavita and because it's a bit smaller overall. Still, when full, it makes plenty of hot water for a couple of mugs of tea at a time. The speed also means I can simply reheat as needed without worrying about the exact temperature hold. The spout pours gently and evenly, it's comfortable to grip, and I particularly enjoy the light on the end of the handle that turns on when your water is heating and off and when it is done. Finally, it has a fitted, rounded base, as opposed to the wider square base of the Stagg, so if you have limited counter space, this design choice can make a difference.
Number 2 of my list.
Bonavita 1L Digital. I find the Bonavita nearly as impressive as the Stagg EKG on a technical level. If you go this route, you won't give up temperature precision in 1-degree increments, temperature hold, or a gooseneck spout. It has some predetermined temperatures, too, though it doesn't actually say what they're for outside of the instruction manual, which I don't find as helpful as the Stagg's markers. Otherwise, my main knock is aesthetic. It's simply not as sleek as our best overall pick. It's not bad looking, just more standard appliance than design object. The functions are very intuitive. While the Stagg EKG operates via a nondescript dial and display screen, the Bonavita has clearly marked buttons on its base, power, a plus and minus to set exact degrees, and a hold. I also appreciate the comfortable handle and stainless steel material, which is easy to wipe down so it looks spotless. Ken Nye, owner of 9th Street Espresso, even thinks the Bonavita has a slight edge over the Stagg EKG, beyond the lower price. The larger capacity and faster flow rate are both helpful when using the kettle for things other than pour-over coffee, he says.
And number 1.
Fellow Stagg EKG. The Fellow Stagg EKG Pro is the kettle I've been using for the past year. First things first, I know it's on the pricey side and more expensive than most on this list. But I consider it well worth the investment, a perfect marriage of form, function, and durability that makes it truly best in class. It has exact temperature control in single-digit increments, plus clearly named predetermined settings for tea and coffee types, which is what I use. While the ultra-precise settings mean it takes slightly longer to reach temperature than other kettles do, it slows down as it gets close to your desired degree to ensure precision. It still takes only 5 minutes to reach a full boil when filled to maximum capacity. And it holds temperature, too. I also love the gooseneck spout. The feature is found with multiple models on this list, but Fellow has optimized the flow so water comes out at the perfect rate for pour-over. I don't personally drink that style of coffee, but having a slower stream of water is still useful. The water never splashes or overflows when I'm pouring, and I have maximum control if I ever need just a little hot water to deglaze a pan while I'm cooking.
Check out this video description for latest price and more informations. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned.